Here we are, a small town bathed in the gentle warmth of a mid-June sun. The date is June 14th, 2025. Tomorrow, this community will celebrate Father's Day. Laughter rings out from back gardens where families gather for barbecues. The air is thick with the sweet scent of freshly cut grass and sizzling burgers. Children present their fathers with handmade cards, their crayon drawings, a vibrant testament to love and appreciation. It is a picture of pure, uncomplicated joy. A scene of domestic bliss, repeated in countless towns just like this one. This celebration seems as natural as the turning of the seasons, a cherished tradition woven into the very fabric of family life. Officially, the story of Father's Day is a simple one, a tale of a woman named Sonora Smart Dodd. In the early 20th century, she fought to establish a day to honor fathers, much like Mother's Day honors mothers. It was born from a daughter's love for her father, a Civil War veteran who raised his children alone. This is the history we are told, a heartwarming narrative of gratitude and familial bonds. It is a story that brings comfort. It makes sense. It is a story that allows everyone to sleep soundly at night, secure in the knowledge that this day is built on a foundation of light and respect. But look closer. Beneath the surface of this cheerful town, another history slumbers. It is a history not found in books or taught in schools. It is a story whispered in hushed tones by the oldest residents, a tale they dismiss as folklore, even as their eyes betray a deep, lingering fear. They speak of the town's founders, a brotherhood of men who sought prosperity in this untamed land. They speak of a pact made in the dead of night, a promise offered to an ancient, unseen power that dwelt in the deep woods surrounding their new settlement, a power that promised abundance in exchange for a terrible recurring price. This town, you see, has always prospered. Its harvests are always bountiful, its businesses always thrive, and its children are always healthy. Outsiders call it luck, a statistical anomaly. But the old stories offer a different explanation. They say the founders did not rely on luck. They made a deal. They bound themselves and all generations to come to a ritual disguised as a celebration, the very celebration we see unfolding today. The barbecues, the gifts, the laughter, they are all part of an elaborate, centuries-old misdirection, a beautiful mask for a horrifying truth. The official narrative, so clean and documented, serves as a perfect shield. It hides the true genesis of this day, a story that begins not with a loving daughter but with a desperate pact. The town's founding fathers, a secretive group known only as the First Patriarchs, faced a brutal first winter. Starvation was imminent. Their fledgling settlement was on the brink of collapse. In their despair, they turned from prayer to something far older, something that promised tangible results. They sought out the entity that local tribes had warned them about, a being of immense power and insatiable hunger that resided in the heart of the forest. They called it the Hollow Father. It was not a god of creation, but one of consumption. It did not offer life, but a reprieve from death for a price. The first patriarchs gathered under a moonless sky and offered their pledge. They asked for prosperity, for safety from the harsh wilderness, for their families to flourish. In return, they promised a tribute, a show of ultimate faith and sacrifice. They would give the entity what it craved most, the strength and spirit of fatherhood itself. This pact was the town's true foundation, a secret covenant written not in ink but in blood and fear. The ritual they designed was ingenious in its cruelty. It would be hidden in plain sight, wrapped in the guise of a day of honor. Every decade, on the third Sunday of June, the town would hold a great celebration. It would be a day filled with feasting and merriment, a performance to appease the entity. But as the sun set, the true purpose of the day would be fulfilled. The Hollow Father would come to collect its due. The pact was specific. It did not want the weak or the old. It demanded the town's protectors, its providers, its pillars of strength. It demanded the fathers. This secret brotherhood has persisted through the centuries, passing the knowledge from one generation to the next. The town's mayor, its sheriff, its most prominent business owners, they are the keepers of the covenant. They ensure the traditions are upheld. They guide the celebrations, their public smiles belying the grim knowledge they carry. They know that the town's continued peace and prosperity are not a gift from heaven, but a loan from something far below. And they know that every 10 years the loan must be repaid with a terrible interest, a living, breathing payment. The selection is not random. In the months leading up to the decennial year, the Brotherhood observes, they do not choose. The Hollow Father does. It is said that a subtle mark appears on the chosen, a shadow that only the initiated can perceive. A sudden string of bad luck, a recurring chill that no fire can warm, a fleeting glimpse of a tall, thin figure in the reflection of a window. These are the signs that a father has been claimed. There is no appeal. The names are noted and the families are subtly steered towards the grandest celebrations, ensuring they are present for the final act. On the appointed night, as the last rays of sunlight retreat from the sky, a change occurs. The joyful sounds of the day begin to fade. A strange silence descends upon the town, a quiet so profound it feels like a physical weight. The air grows cold, and a thick, unnatural fog rolls in from the woods, smelling of damp earth and old decay. It clings to the ground, swallowing the neat lawns and picket fences. This is the signal. The Hollow Father is arriving. It does not walk through the streets. It is the fog. It is the silence. It is the sudden, inexplicable fear that grips every heart. Inside their homes, the chosen fathers feel a strange pull, an irresistible urge to step outside. They may be in the middle of a conversation or watching television with their children, but the call is absolute. They stand up, their expressions vacant, and walk towards the door as if in a trance. Their families, caught in the same unnatural stillness, can only watch, unable to speak or move. The fathers do not scream, they do not struggle. They simply open their doors and step out into the waiting fog, vanishing from sight instantly. There is no sound, no struggle, just an empty doorway. One by one they are taken. From different streets, from different homes, the pillars of the community are silently erased. The fog thickens, obscuring everything, and then, just as quickly as it arrived, it recedes. The silence breaks. The crickets begin to chirp again. The warmth returns to the air. Inside their homes, families are released from their paralysis, left staring at open doors and empty chairs. The fathers are gone. Not missing, just gone. Their absence is as complete and final as if they had never existed at all. The town has paid its tithe. The morning after is always the same. The sun rises on a town that is quieter, sadder, yet strangely peaceful. The disappearances are never officially linked. They are treated as isolated incidents. One man is said to have run off, another to have had a tragic, undiscovered accident while hiking. Explanations are fabricated, stories are spun, and the community, in a collective act of willed ignorance, accepts them. To acknowledge the truth would be to acknowledge the monster that guarantees their comfortable lives. And so, they choose to forget. They must. The true toll is measured in the quiet grief that lingers for years. It is seen in the eyes of the children who will grow up without a father, told stories of a man who simply left. It is felt in the houses that remain half empty, monuments to a secret sacrifice. The prosperity continues, of course. The harvest will be plentiful this autumn. The town's businesses will report record profits. The Hollow Father always keeps its end of the bargain. But the cost is etched into the town's soul, a deep and permanent scar hidden beneath a veneer of normalcy and good fortune. The Brotherhood continues its vigil, its members already looking ahead to the next decade. They watch their own sons grow, knowing that one day they too may be chosen. This is the terrible inheritance of the town's founding pact, a legacy of fear disguised as tradition. The cycle is unbroken, and the entity in the woods remains patient and hungry. It knows that as long as the town wishes to prosper, its larder will never be empty. The celebration of Father's Day here is not about honor. It is about appeasement. It is a feast laid out for a predator. So as the next Father's Day approaches, look closely at the celebrations around you. Listen to the quiet moments between the laughter. Notice the shadows as they lengthen in the late afternoon sun. Most will see only a day of love and remembrance. But in some places, in the oldest and quietest of towns, it is something else entirely. It is a day of counting, a day of waiting, a day to wonder which fathers this time will be chosen for the harvest, and to pray it is not your own.